Yep. All right. So let's take a look at our business barometer. This is now looking at our 12-month and 3-month forecast. So the question that went out to these business owners is, how do you expect your firm to be performing in 12 months compared to now? And so obviously we're trending upwards here. This bottom out was those spring months that you see there. And we're doing better than what we saw last month. So that's a positive impact there.
Yep, we've increased a couple basis points. We need for the 3 month, which is the light blue line.
Yep.
It typically sits around 54%, and for the 12 month, it sits around 60. So we are moving in the right direction. We've probably got another 3 months to go on that. I think as long as one thing with the trade, with the tariffs and the trade deal is, I believe 85% of the goods that go back and forth are not tariffed because they're part of an agreement with Mexico, US, and Canada. So really only 15% of product is affected by that. If there was an event in which Donald Trump canceled that agreement, if he can even do that, this could definitely change the barometer. But that deal will be renegotiated, potentially next summer or later on in the year. So there's still some time for our government and the U.S. to work some stuff out. And hopefully, in the meantime, this stuff trends back to its historical average.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now taking a look at that same business confidence for our importers and exporters, again, you can see we're trending in the right direction. Confidence is growing, down obviously from where we were last year. And it's so funny, like this felt the same for the real estate market, really. We were kind of cruising along until November of last year, and then something happened in November. I forget what it was, but it, it just threw everything for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those U.S. elections.
What I like about that chart is that selling abroad, companies that are selling abroad had a huge uptick from 36.1 to 40. I believe that's 45.4. So that was,
45.4. Yeah.
that was a really nice uptick because, the vast majority of these people selling abroad are selling to the United States of America. So this is a good indicator that we're going to potentially get back to normal, hopefully later this year or early next.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Okay, now we're looking at average wage plans versus average price plans. And as you can see, when the markets were doing really good, we're running pretty close these lines. We want them as close together as possible. And obviously, as you see them separate, that's where we start to have challenges as businesses are planning to charge more and not necessarily up the wages. So, Matt, talk to me about the difference that we saw from June over here to July and where we're trending.
Yeah, so the average increase in the kind of the cost of the product that companies were going to sell to the market was sitting at 2.9% increase. Now we're sitting at a 2.7. So we've come back. You can kind of see we got up to 3.6 when Donald Trump got into power. So those fears have now calmed
Yeah.
down. They're heading back down to their historical average, which I believe is around 2.2, 2.3. And then on the wage side, we are seeing that roll over to its 2% as well. So that does give us some hope that, wages are going to start to roll over from 3.5% year over year, which I believe it is. I'd have to double check, but back down to where we are now at 2.1. So typically that's where you want wages to hover. Well, wages to hover is in and around that 2% mark.
Beautiful. Yeah, like that's still. I'm looking at these charts and I'm seeing good news in the business sector of things.
Yeah.
Like all that's looking good. Now,